In many village tradition, there are powerful guardian deities who protect the land and the people. What exactly are these deities and how do they work?
So, a general term we used to call these deities are Kshetrapal. There are deities who descend from heaven who are also Kshetrapals. Semi-divine beings like Gandharvas, we have Bhairavas, we have Naga-devtas. All of them come under the branch of Kshetrapals. So how they work is, when someone who is very poor seeks help, they have been cheated. Very quickly, the person who has cheated them will have sickness in the family. There will be deaths in the family. And they will run to that Devata and ask forgiveness.
I think we have a lot of similarity with our South Devi-devta and our Himachal Devi-devta. And like Kantara movie, we have the same thing. Your Ishta Devta is Karupan Swami and your main Upasana Devta is Ganesha. Is there any connection between Ganpati and the Kshetrapal traditions?
First, we have to talk about Karupan. He is a Kshetrapal. He is a form of Bhairava. And in a lot of villages, you will see his murti sitting on a white horse.
Maybe in our Himachal, we call him Narsingh Devta, the white horse.
Yes, white horse Devata.
So is there any connection between Naga Devta and Lord Ganesha?
Even in Mantra Sadhana of Ganesha, there is one prayoga which mentions if you sit under a specific tree and do this specific mantra of Mahaganapati, a Naga princess would appear and give you a gem from the Naga Loka. A lot of people know of only the higher chakras from Muladhara, but if you go deeper in the philosophy of chakras, there are also lower chakras beyond the Muladhara. Atala, Patala, chakras are there.
तो दोस्तों आप सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। मैं हूं आपका होस्ट नितिश राजपूत एंड आप सभी का स्वागत है द लिमिटलेस टॉक पॉडकास्ट में। एंड टुडे वी हैव अ स्पेशल गेस्ट आचार्य श्री कुमार जी, ऑल्सो नोन एज श्री जी। ही इज एन एक्सपीरियंस मंत्र साधका कनेक्टेड विद द साउथ इंडियन ग्राम देवतास ट्रेडिशंस। अर्लियर he served as an oracle of Sangili Karupana Swami, a powerful guardian deity associated with the Bhairava. His teaching focus on a simple and practical Ganpati sadhana that anyone can follow in a daily life. He is also the author of book Sangili Karupan. So Shree Ji, welcome to the Limitless Talk and it's a great honor to have you on here.
Shri Mahaganapati Namaha Karparatunai.
Mahaganpati Namaha and Har Har Mahadev. So my first question is, your background is not from the mainstream Vedic tradition, but from an older South Indian lineage similar to what we call Gur or Khel here. Can you tell us more about this path?
So we come from a Grama Devata worship background where it is a very old tradition, a tradition that exists before organized religion came about. So now we have so many organized religion, but when humans used to live in small gramas, small villages, small tribes, we didn't have organized religion. And this form of tradition is not only in India, it exists outside of India as well. So when we call, in English we will call them oracles or spirit mediums. In Tamil Nadu we call them Arulvaku or divine speech. And we have in Tulnadu where they call it, Bhudakola. Outside of India we also have, let's say in China, there's a lot of records from the Song dynasty where the royals had recorded these oracles and spirit mediums 1500 years ago, where in every town there were many of these oracles or spirit mediums. In Tamil Nadu itself, we have a book called Tirumurugatrupadai, which chronicles how Skanda or Kartigeya was worshipped 3000 years ago. The book is more than 3000 years old. It used to say that Muruga or Skanda, Shiva's son, used to descend into the shaman of the tribe and speak to the humans. So this tradition was not just in all parts of India or Bharat, it was in all native religions. In Greece you find them, in Africa you find them, in South America where the tribals used to roam, we had this form of practice where divine beings would descend into shamans, the chosen people, either by bloodline or by initiation, And these beings would descend into the shamans and talk to the people, solve the daily issues of the people, protect the people. So it's a very old tradition. And in Singapore, we have a Tamil community. My grandparents moved to Singapore back in the day. So in that vibrant Tamil community, we also had this worship, particularly of these devatas called Munishwaran. So Munishwaran are like Shiva Ganas of Lord Shiva. So they come from the different parts of Lord Shiva. So there were various Munishwara. For example, Jada Munishwara. Jada Munishwara means the Munishwara who came from the Jata of Lord Shiva, like Virabhadra kind of Devata. And Raja Munishwara, who is the very royal form of Munishwara. So these two forms of Munishwara, who were Guru types of worship, I joined as a Shishya when I was 12 years old. And I served as a Shishya to these oracles until I was 19. And at the age of 19, I myself became an oracle for another Devata.
Okay. So my next question is, in many village tradition, there are powerful guardian deities who protect the land and the people. Like, for example, in our Himachal, there is named deities named Banshira who protect the forest, land and people. So what exactly are these deities and how do they work?
So a general term we used to call these deities are Kshetrapal.
Okay.
So now Kshetrapal is a big term and many kind of devatas and divine beings are inside this terminology of Kshetrapal. There are deities who descend from heaven, from Swarga, who are also Kshetrapals. There are deities who are from the sky, who are also Kshetrapals. There are semi-divine beings like Gandharvas. We have Buddhas, right? We have Rudraganas, we have Shivaganas. We have nature spirits, semi-divine beings who are within the jungles, the forests. We have Vinayakas, we have Bhairavas, right? We have Naga devatas. All of them come under the branch of Kshetrapals. So how they work is, back in the day, we worship these forms of beings who protect us. In return, we do something for them, whether it's an annual puja or we give them some offerings or we give them a bali every year, every 6 months. In return, they will protect us from, let's say, diseases, from negative beings around the jungles. They protect us from enemies, right? So all kinds of protection from diseases, sickness, health, natural calamities, floods, earthquakes. So this was the term we use, Kshetrapal, but all manner of beings, semi-divine, Betals, Nagas, all kinds of beings are contained in this one word, Kshetrapals.
So in a Kantara movie, which deities, like Kshetrapal was in Kantara movie?
Yes, so in the Kantara movie, there were two main deities, right? The second deity who comes was the Gulika Devata.
Kulika Devta.
Gulika Devata, he is the Kshetrapal of the main Kantara god.
Okay.
The main god says that even if I forgive you, my Kshetrapal will not forgive you.
Okay.
So in many practices, there is a main Devata, like Shiva, Parvati and all that, but they also have Kshetrapals who are much more fierce, who protect that Kshetra. So in that Kantara movie, we see the last part that Kshetrapal will descend because the promises have been broken and the people were attacked, right? So the Kshetrapal comes to seek revenge. So another aspect of the Kshetrapal deities is, in a lot of places, in villages, even in the Himalayan provinces, there are people or marginalized people who do not have money to fight a court case. They do not have the time to seek help elsewhere, right? They don't have the resources.
Okay.
So when they have been wronged by people who have much more money, much more power, they go to the Kshetrapal deities and ask for help. And if dharma is on their side, the Kshetrapal deities will quickly act. There are stories where, example, Bhairava descends in certain tribes in the Himalayan areas, and when someone who's very poor seeks help, they have been cheated. Very quickly, the person who has cheated them will have sickness in the family. There will be deaths in the family, and they will run to that devata and ask forgiveness and make reparations to the people who have been wronged, and then things get better.
I think we have a lot of similarity with our South Devi-devta and our Himachal Devi-devta. Gur, Chelas, and like Kantara movie, we have the same thing in our Himachal. So, you guide many people in Ganesha Mantra Sadhana. How did you personally start working on his path?
So, as I was saying, I come from a path where I was an oracle. For 12 years, I served as an oracle until my guru was no more. Then my guru had given Ajna to build a Karupan temple. And that was when I started doing Ganesha Sadhana. Originally, I didn't know I would get into this Ganesha path at all. But there were some clues because when I was a child, 12, 13 years old, I would be helping my guru in all that pujas, clearing the space, getting all the puja samagris ready. We would do a kind of puja where we offer cooked rice, vegetables, and all that to the devata once a year. We would always leave a mango for Ganesh devata. So whichever devata we offer the food for, one mango must be kept for Ganesha. So my guru had a lot of shishyas, but the mango, he would always give it to me only. So I will not share it with any of the other shishyas, I would just consume it. I didn't know back then why I always got the Ganesh Ji's prasad. Much later on, I realized when I was checking my Jyotish chart, I was born on Chaturthi Tithi, Sankashti Chaturthi Tithi, which is the Tithi that is linked to Ganesh Bhagwan. So when I got involved in Ganesha Sadhana, things happened very quickly. The land came, book contract came, special yantras for Karupan that is from Kerala came to me, and the temple was completed by fully donations by everyone who are not even from the south. People from Kashmir, people from Himachal, Mumbai, Delhi, all by Ganesha's Mantra Sadhana. So I became very grateful and thankful for him for helping me build the temple for my Ishta Devata. And I felt that his, what he can do for ordinary people like me and you should be spread all over the world. Also, a lot of Ganesha's worship has been lost because of invasions that happened. So, example, there are over 30 tantra books on Ganesha worship in Tibet that came from Bengal and went to Tibet, but it's no longer available here. There's a lot of Ganesha worship in ancient China, Japan, Korea, because the Siddhas had spread from Bharat all the way to these other places. Then what happened when we had invasions later on? We lost all these vidyas. So I feel my goal is to bring back all these vidyas of Ganeshji that has been lost in Bharat itself, so that we will have access to this. Normal Hindus will have access to the great Devata that is Ganesh Bhagavan.
Your Ishta Devta is Karupanna Swami and your main Upasana Devta is Ganesha. Is there any connection between Ganpati and the Kshatrapal traditions?
So, first we have to talk about Karupan. Karupan was the Devata that was given to me by my Guru. Okay. So, he is a Kshetrapal. He is a form of Bhairava. So, there's many stories about Karupan from different traditions, different sampradayas follow different stories. Different temples have different style Puranas of Karupan. So, Karupan as a Devata, in Skand Puran, there is a story where Indra gets attacked by Surapatman, an Asura,
By Surya Padman?
Surapatman.
Okay.
Surapatman is an asura who wanted to get that Indra's throne. So he attacks Indralok, he defeats Indra. And then he wants to also make Indrani his wife. So Indrani escapes and goes to Narad Muni for help. Narad Muni say, pray to Shiva in this forest, hide and do your sadhana for Lord Shiva. So what happens is, Surapadman's sister, Ajomugi, hunts for Indrani and finds her doing Shiva worship in the jungle. And she will pull Indrani because she wants to make Indrani Surapadman's wife. From the Shivalinga, a black cloud will appear, and in that there will be a form of a devata with big moustache, long hair, carrying a khadga.
Okay.
And he will cut the hands of that Asuri who was attacking Indrani. So in Skanda Purana, it says the name is Mahakal, who is a Kshetrapal of Lord Shiva. When it gets converted into Tamil language, Maha becomes Periya or big. Kal means dark, black. Karupan means dark skin, black.
Okay.
So Periya Karupan is like the big Karupan, right? So this Mahakal, who is a Kshetrapala of Lord Shiva, a Bhairava Amsha, becomes worshipped in Tamil Nadu as Karupan. So he is a very famous or popular form of Kshetrapal in South India. And in a lot of villages, you will see his murti sitting on a white horse. This white horse Devata is also seen in other places like Khandoba in Mumbai and all that. You will see a Devata, Mallana Devata and all that. Same form of Devata. In other places, they call him Sham Baba because black,
Yes,
dark.
yes. Maybe in our Himachal we call him Narsingh Devta,
Narsingh
white
Dev-
horse.
Yes, white horse Devata.
Yes, yes.
So this Devata is called by many names, just like your friend will call you one name, your parents might call you one name.
Right.
But it's the same Devata only. So the attire might change in different regions. You go to office, you wear a different attire. You are at home, you wear another different attire.
Right.
But it's the same Devata. So that Karupan was the Devata that was given to me, and I was the oracle for 12 years. Now, how is Ganesha linked to Karupan and how is Ganesha linked to Kshetrapals? Ganesha is the OG Kshetrapal.
Okay.
He is the original Kshetrapal because if you know the famous Puranic stories, when Devi Ma goes to her inner chambers, she creates Ganesh Ji from her body and places him as the guardian. And even as a young boy, without any weapons, he just had one staff, one stick. He fought the Shiva Ganas, he fought the Deva Ganas, he fought the Trimurti, who all wanted to enter, if you know the story. And in that Puranic story, Vishnu Bhagwan, who will be fighting Ganesh Ji, will say, I have fought many Asuras, I have fought many Gandharvas, I have fought many Nagas, all kinds of beings I have fought. But I have never seen someone who fights so ferociously like this Ganesh Bhagavan. So he was the OG Kshetrapal. And another name for Ganesh Bhagavan is Ganapati. So he is the Pati, the Lord of Ganas. Which Ganas? All forms of Ganas. Shiva Ganas, Bhairava Ganas, Yoginis, right? Nagas, Kshetrapals, all groups of protectors, all groups of Kshetrapals. He is the king, he is the Lord. He rules all these Kshetrapals. So that's why he has a very, very strong link to Kshetrapal Devatas.
There is a question in my mind about Indra. Indra is a god or it is a designation only?
Indra of the Vedas is very different from Indra of the Puranas. Indra of the Vedas was the supreme deity. But when it came to Puranic era time, the philosophy shifted. How we thought of certain things shifted. And it became a position. But it is a very long position. It takes, hundreds of human lifetimes to even think about time of Indra. Things and philosophies change. Like back in the day, everybody wanted to go to Swarga only, right? So the old traditions will say you do good things so that you go to Swarga. Then later traditions like Vedanta came, says that, even Swarga is only temporary. So more important than Swarga is moksha. So philosophy changed. The way we look at different devatas, things change. So our way of looking at these devatas changed with time.
So we will talk about Naga worship. In the Himalayan region, Naga worship is very common. How are Naga devtas worshipped in other parts of India?
So Naga devatas are very, very popular form of devatas to worship. And it's a very, very old form of worship. Nowadays, people think of Kashmir as the place where Kashmiri Shaivism came about. The Kashmiri Pandits came from there. The philosophy of Abhinavagupta and all of that came from there. But even before that, the tribes there, they worship the Naga devatas. Just like the Naga devatas are said to descend into the bodies like oracles. I'm sure even in Himachal and all that, there are Naga devatas who can descend into the bodies of certain oracles or shamans.
Okay.
So even in Kashmir, this used to happen. The Naga devatas were worshipped by the tribes people. And in the south, Tamil Nadu especially, we would worship the Naga devatas as that snake pit. We will have that snake pit of the termite mound and all that. Women always would worship that snake pit. They would like break eggs. We would put milk for the Naga devatas. It's a very old form of worship. In Kerala, Naga devata worship is also linked to the tribes. So there is a tribe called the Pulluvan tribes. They will sing to the Naga devatas. So they have the authority to actually invoke the Naga devatas. So we have this thing called Sarpa Tullal in Kerala. So I know about it because my wife is from Kerala. So in Sarpa Tullal, they have a young girl who will be in this Naga worship, and they would play the drums and the music, and the Naga devata would slowly enter this young girl.
Oh.
And then the worship will happen. She would bless everyone. And during this 3-4 day worship, what happens is a real snake will appear. A very special snake with silver back or a golden back will come and take some of that prasad and also leave. So in Kerala, that worship of the Nagas is very, very common and very, very popular. Even outside of Hindu practices, you go to the Buddhist practices, they all worship Nagas. So you might know Tantra is divided into the Buddhist Tantra and the Hindu Tantra.
Yes.
So the Buddhist Tantra went to Tibet, China. We have the Rinpoches, we have the Lamas. So the Lamas would always worship the Naga devatas. There's a special date every month where they will actually go to the sea and offer some offerings to the Naga devatas, biodegradable offerings, food offerings into the ocean, because Naga devatas do not like destruction of the land, the property, So they get very angry when these things happen, like let's say forests are destroyed, right? So to appease them, the Buddhists would go every month to do these offerings. In Kerala, there's this thing called Sarpa Kavu. Sarpa Kavu. So Sarpa Kavu is this place like a sacred grove. So they will have Naga Devata Murtis of Naga Raja, Naga Kanni, Naga Yakshiyamma, and this grove will not be disturbed because they like to have this habitat undisturbed. So only once a year you are allowed to clear and then do puja for these Naga Devatas, and in return the Naga Devatas will actually bless you. There's this very famous temple in Kerala called Manarasala. So in Manarasala, what happened was there was two people, husband and wife, who didn't have a child for a very long time. They were living in the forest only. So one day there was this fire in the forest and a lot of snakes got injured. So they brought back all these snakes, and one of them knew Ayurveda. So they applied medication and herbs and healed the snakes. What happened was Nagaraja was very, very pleased with this. So when we say Nagaraja, a lot of different Nagas are known as Nagaraja. So this was Vasugi.
Vasuki Nag.
Vasugi Nag. So he was very pleased with what they did and said, I will come and be born as your son.
Okay.
And this place will be very famous for Naga Devata worship. And since from that time, the priest of this place is not a man. It is the daughter-in-law who gets married into this family. She will always be the priest of this temple because Naga has that motherly feeling because they took care of that snakes, right? So a lot of people go to this temple for fertility issues. They want to get a child and things like that. They will go and worship Nagaraj there. So a lot of different Naga Devatas are worshipped. So sometimes we call them Ashtanags. We have different Naga Devatas. We have Vasuki, who is on Lord Shiva. We have Anantasesha, that Vishnu Bhagavan sleeps on. We have Taksha. We have Karkotaka Naga. So lots of great serpents are worshipped in different ways in different parts of India and outside of India as well.
So is there any connection between Nag Devta and Lord Ganesha?
Ganesha and Naga Devatas have a very, very strong connection. Even if you see the imagery of Lord Ganesha, you will see he has that snake belt, he has snakes here, he has snakes everywhere, just like his father.
Right.
He has a very strong connection to the Naga Devatas. Some connection we can see in the tantra of Ganesh Ji, in his Sahasranama, in his Ashtotra Namas. So one of the names he has is he who sits on a throne made by the Navanagas.
Okay.
So the 9 great serpent kings become the throne that Ganesh Ji sits on. In his Ashtotra Nama, it says that Navanaga Vibhushanaya Namaha. So he is adorned by the 9 great serpents. So there's a very strong connection in Tantra with him. Even in Mantra Sadhana of Ganesha, there is one prayoga which mentions if you sit under a specific tree and do this specific mantra of Mahaganapati, when the mantra gets Siddhi, a Naga princess would appear and give you a gem from the Naga Loka.
Okay.
So this is a prayoga that is mentioned in the Tantras. Outside of that, in Nepal, where the Naga worship is also very popular, Ganesh Ji is very often linked to the Nagas. So there is a very famous story where the people wanted to use the river for their own daily needs, but in that river, Bagmati river, there was a great serpent, Karkotaka Naga. So he was one of the great Naga Rajas. He was not allowing them. So the people pleaded to Lord Shiva, like this is happening, we need to use this water, but we are afraid of this Nagaraj, Karkotaka Naga. So Shiva sends Ganesh Ji down, and Ganesh Ji fights Karkotaka Naga for 7 days.
Okay.
And then he defeats Karkotaka Naga, but he gives a lake beside for Karkotaka Naga to live and stay. So he controlled Karkotaka Naga. And another story is by the Buddhists who live in Kathmandu. So Kathmandu Valley, it's surrounded by mountains. So back in the day, it was filled with water before people went in, right? Because it's like a valley. So Manjushri, who's one of the Buddhas, drained all the water in Kathmandu Valley so people could live. But then all the Nagarajas started leaving because these Nagas live in water. But if they leave, there won't be any rain. Ganesha, who would control these Nagas from leaving and also give them another place so that they do not leave Kathmandu, so that there will always be rain. So there is a connection even in that aspect between Ganesha and the Naga Devatas. Even in a very yogic sense, if we think about it, Ganesh always is said to be living in the Mooladhara Chakra, the base chakra.
Base chakra.
Right?
Mooladhara.
A lot of people know of only the higher chakras from Mooladhara. But if you go deeper in the philosophy of chakras, there are also lower chakras beyond the Mooladhara. Patala chakras are there. And the Naga Devatas are said to reside in Patala Lok.
Okay.
Right? And Kundalini is known as the serpent.
Yes.
It is below the Moladhara. So Ganesh also controls the serpent, the Nag, that is the Kundalini Shakti.
Okay.
So there's a lot of connections between Ganesh and Nag
Nag
Devatas.
Devta. Many people feel afraid of Nagas or serpent worship. Is it safe for people to worship Naga Devtas?
Yes, they should be afraid because Naga Devatas, they have two characters. Naga Devatas have two characters.
Okay.
So they are known as Kshipra Prasadana. They are very quick to bless you.
Okay.
And they are also known as Kshipra Kopi.
Shipragopi.
Means they are quick to get angry.
Okay.
Right? So there are two sides to Nag Devatas. If you remember some years ago, there was this tunnel digging project and they moved one of the Naga Devatas shrines and then people got trapped in that tunnel and everything they did, they could not retrieve the people from the tunnel. And one of the Gur went and said that you promised to put it back. Now the Nagaraja is angry and the Nagaraja was actually the Kshetrapal of the surrounding 4 villages.
Okay.
So everything they did failed. This Gur person came and said that, once you put it back, within 3 days, these people will be rescued. So the one in charge of this operation was a white man, Caucasian person.
Yes.
So sometimes even our own Sarkar people don't listen, but the white people will listen. So he said, okay, let's do this and everything back. Within 3 days, on the 3rd day, the people who were trapped in the tunnel were all rescued. And the CM of that state later on made a very big temple for the Naga Devata down there, who is the Kshetrapalaka there. In the tsunami times, there is this place in South India called Nagapattinam.
Nagapattinam.
So there is a village there where Nagaraj was worshipped as the Kshetrapal. He appeared in the dreams of everyone in the village, asking them to go up hill.
Okay.
And later on, that place was hit by the tsunami. So he was so compassionate, he had also saved all of these people. So there is both sides to the Naga Devatas. They will very quickly bless you, but if you insult them or if you disrespect them, they will very quickly also punish you.
You have experience as both an oracle and a tantra practitioner. How are bhakti worship, tantra sadhana, and oracle traditions different from each other?
So all of these are different ways of ushering in a devata, calling the divine presence. None of it is higher, none of it is lower. What happens is someone, let's say they have gotten tantra diksha, they'll look at Gram Devata worship or Kshetrapal worship, they'll think it's low. Right? Someone who is in another form of worship, let's say they are worshipping Vishnu, they don't give Bali. So if they look at Shakti Peeths and say, oh, why are they giving Bali? They will look at that as less. Right? But the Devatas are not like that. All of this is just different ways of calling the Devata. Right? In the Bhakti way, someone doesn't know any proper procedure. So out of love, we give what we can. We offer fruits. We sing to the Devata. We have bhajans for the Devata. We offer their favorite flowers, their favorite food. In the Tidi of the Devata, we might take vrata for the Devata to please them. We might go visit their temples. Just so that the Devata will see our love and they will also give back that love. So it's a very simple form of worship, but also very effective. When it comes to the Guru style of worship, the oracle tradition, it is by Sampradaya, through the lineage. So sometimes that family line has been blessed or cursed by this Devata that everyone has to become an oracle. So that family has to serve that Devata. So everyone around that place are blessed. You have that connection. So through this, the Devata blesses you. You invite the Devata by music, sounds, so that the person gets into that trance and the Devata is able to descend into the body of the oracle. Sometimes there is this story where in Kerala, that oracle had passed away. His cousin, who was in the United States, an IT person, a software engineer, had come for the funeral.
Okay.
Immediately the Devata went into his body and said, now you have to serve.
Okay.
He was not even in line, but he was still by blood, he was related. So the devata just chooses, you can't say anything. Now in tantra, you invite the devata by mantra shakti, by mantra, yantra, by diksha, you get diksha from a guru, and then you build the chaitanya of the devata within you, in your hridaya chakra. So the devata starts residing in your hridaya chakra. So all of these are different ways and forms of ushering in the devata, right? But you cannot say that one is superior, one is inferior.
Right.
So there was this story where there was this very famous tantra sadhaka where he worships Devi, and Devi would be pratyaksham. He can see Devi walking with him.
Okay.
So it was a very famous sadhaka. So one day he was walking with Devi, and then he found Devi couldn't be seen. And he was like looking where she is. Then he saw there was a person from a tribe who is not a sadhaka. They call it marginalized people. He was worshipping how he can. But Devi was there.
Okay.
But he couldn't see Devi. So once Devi came back, he was like, how could you do that? How could you go to this lowly person and take his puja where he's offering meat and everything? And Devi smiles and tells him, you can see me for so long, but I think you do not understand me yet. From now onwards, as long as you do the puja, I will give you what you want, but you cannot see me anymore. So the devatas will accept all kinds of worship, because all forms of worship given by the devatas only. Right? So there's no inferior, superior, they're just different styles of worship.
Right. Some people say mantras work only if you have a strong faith. From your experience, is a faith enough, or is a correct practice more important?
So faith should always be there, but in mantra sadhana, it is not primarily about faith. It is about correct practice. In bhakti sadhana, in bhakti practices, you need to have faith. In tantra sadhana, it's not about faith at all. It is about doing the practices correctly, because it is not so simple.
Right.
In bhakti, you can do anything. You can give everything out of love. You have Kannappa, who was this saint, who was a hunter, who was worshipping Shiva. So he didn't know how to worship Shiva. He would give pork. He would offer pork. He took out his eye and offered. So he was bhakti only. In tantra, there are rules and regulations given by the devata themselves. Shiva, Devi have given the tantra text on how they should be worshipped when it comes to mantra sadhana.
Right.
So you cannot just be out of faith, I will bang my head in that cement wall and it will break. It's not going to happen. Right? So because in mantra, what happens is there are a lot of angas for a mantra. So it's not just the mantra itself. The mantra has bijaksharas. Right? And then there are things like nyasas, there are things like kavacha, there are things like utkilana, because a lot of the mantras rishis have cursed in Kali Yuga so that people do not misuse. But people who have the proper lineage, parampara, they know how to unlock the mantras. Right? Then there are Anka devatas of the main devata. Let's say Mahaganapati has Vinayakas.
Okay.
Right? Devi has yoginis. Bhairava has Bhutaganas. So usually when a VIP come, they do not come by themselves. They come with their entire bodyguards and everything.
Yes.
So how do you serve them? How do you make sure they do not get angry? Right? So a lot of rules and regulations are there. And also you can't just take a mantra from a book and then start reciting it. You do not know what it will does to your body.
Right.
So let's say someone has done the mantra for 10 years, 20 years, or they are from this sampradaya that has practiced this mantra for many lifetimes, right? They will know what are the problems that will happen when you're doing the mantra. They will tell you, okay, when this happens, you do this. When this happens, you do this. Like certain Devi mantras will increase the sexual desire inside you. Then there are certain processes to make it calm down, right? There are certain things in Ganesha sadhana where, because Ganesha sits in Muladhara chakra, when it starts churning, cleaning, you get very lethargic, very lazy.
Okay.
So there are things to do to make sure to control these things. But only someone who has done the mantra for a very long time will be able to tell you how to handle these things. If you take from a book, how will you know what are the issues?
Is any sadhana possible without any guru or guardian?
Pujas are always possible, vratas are always possible.
Sadhana.
See, sadhana, what is the meaning of sadhana? Sadhana is spiritual practice, right? Is vrata not a spiritual practice,
Okay.
right? Every devata has a tidhi that is linked to the devata, right? You have tidhi for Ganesha, which is the Chaturthi, the fourth tidhi. You have tidhi for Bhairava, which is Ashtami,
Okay.
right? You have tidhi for Devi worship, which is Purnima, right? There are tidhis for different devatas. There is tidhi like Pradosha tidhi for Lord Shiva, Ekadashi tidhi for Vishnu.
Okay.
So those tidhis you can always worship them by simple stotra part. Puranic stotras are available for everyone. There's no restrictions in doing stotra part, Nama Japa, Ashtotara Namavalis, 108 names. These things everyone can do and everyone can benefit.
Okay.
There's no restrictions. Only in Bijakshara mantras there are restrictions.
Like Hrim.
Yes. So Bijaksharas affect different chakras.
Okay. Okay.
So that's why Bijaksharas need, it's a seed, it's a bija,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
right? So only the person who has already grown the seed into a tree can give you a fruit to you for you to grow. You can't just take it from the street.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so there's a difference.
Have you ever seen a real life incident where Ganesha mantra sadhana led to something miracle or unexpected?
When people talk about miracles, they think of like, Shankaracharya worshipping Devi and gold fruits fall into the roof and things like that. But most people need help in their daily lives, not just some magic. I had one Shishya, for example, he was doing Mahaganapati Sadhana under my guidance. He was working in this company for a long time. Suddenly, once he started doing the sadhana, they shifted him from one department to another department. And then he was because he was a bit lazy. He's like, I'm already comfortable here. Now I have to learn a lot of new things. So they shifted him there. He was like, Guruji, I started the sadhana. Now I suddenly have moved to another department. I said, Ganesha knows better than you. Just do what you are told. And then what happened was, in some months, that old department he was from, right? The company closed down that department and everyone who was working in that department all lost their jobs.
Okay.
While he, who was transferred to this department, got a salary increase and also promotion,
Okay.
right? But Ganesha knew beforehand, so he transferred him. If he stayed there, he would have lost, and he would say, see, I worship Ganesha, I lost my job, right? But Ganesha knew better. So these things will happen. I had another Shishya who was doing the sadhana for some time. He was telling me that, Guruji, I'm doing the sadhana, but only my son is benefiting. I'm not getting any benefit. My son is getting top scores in exams. I'm not getting anything. I want to get promotion long time. My salary is stagnant. I said, wait, Ganesha knows better. Then some months later, he called me crying, saying that, Guruji, yeah, you're right. Ganesha knows better. The previous company I worked for, they had given me share options. Now that company is going for public listing. So they are buying back all the shares. So the amount now they are buying back is so much more. I was just expecting a promotion, but now I get, Ganesh ji has given me so much more. And with that money, he bought big piece of land in Mumbai area and he built a farmhouse with a Ganesh shrine in that place. So there's a lot of these experiences that people go through. At first, when you're doing the sadhana, it feels a bit, why is this thing happening, that is happening? But in the long run, it's for your benefit.
Right. If someone has not received initiation, how can they still connect with the devtas like Ganpati or Karupan and receive blessing?
So Ganesha, you can always do the Nama Japa, Shree Mahaganapatiye Namah.
Shree Mahaganpatiye
Namah. So you just do that mantra and then you start increasing the mantra. It's a Nama Japa.
Okay.
Without
mala or?
With mala you can do. With mala you can use Rakta Chandan.
Okay.
You can use Rudraksha. But nowadays a lot of the Rudrakshas are fake Rudrakshas. Rakta Chandan, even the government websites are selling proper ones. So you can buy Rakta Chandan. You start with one mala a day. Every day you do once a week. Maybe when you have more time, you can do more malas. On Chaturthis, you can do much more malas and also taking Vrata. Then you will start seeing that improvement in your life. But you must take that sankalpa. What are you asking for? In which aspect of your life? You start slowly. Ask for one thing. Don't give one big laundry list or grocery list. I want these things so much.
Right.
Get their preeti first. Right? So Shri Mahaganapati Nama, you start doing. Have a goal. Let's say in this amount of time. Let's this couple of months. I want to finish 21,000 jap of this. After you finish, you go to a Ganesha temple, offer some things he likes, fruit, some dakshina, durva, right? You will start seeing benefits. And if he thinks that you need to get initiated, some guru will come to initiate you, right? So I had one shishya in Kathmandu. Her name is Rojina. She was doing Ganesha's Ashtotra, 108 names. She just kept doing it, but she had no initiation for any mantras yet. So what happened was she just kept doing it all the time. Then one day she woke up after doing that sadhana and she felt like I need to go to this Devi temple. So there's a Shakti Peeth in Kathmandu called Guhyeshwari.
Okay.
So she went there. She met some of her friends there and she was like, I want to get initiated. I do not know what can I do next. So on that day, I was also in the temple only.
Okay.
I was inside the cave doing my job, and the people there were like, the person who initiated is inside. So I came out and I initiated her there itself. So if you do the practice like Nama Japa or Ashtotra Namas regularly, someone will come, someone who's meant for you will come and give you guidance.
Okay. Have you ever faced criticism or misunderstanding for following this spiritual path, and how did you deal with it?
So criticism and misunderstanding is always there.
Okay.
So, for example, my devata Karupan, we offer bali to the devata. This has been a tradition. So some people say, why are you giving bali? You're doing it just so you can eat meat. This kind of stupid criticism happens. Like, are you sure it's just for me to eat? Nowadays we have Swiggy. I can order biryani and anything 5-20 minutes that food will come. So it's nothing to do with my taste.
Right.
This is the sampradaya. So some people will go to McDonald's and Burger King and eat chicken burger and everything. The chicken nugget where 10-20 chickens are all smashed together. They will eat nicely, right? But you just can't see the devata offering the food, because anyway that food is not going to waste. You offer the devata, everyone is going to eat only, right? So these people have these kind of mindsets that, oh, this is right, this is wrong. And then some of the older generations will always tell the younger generation, oh, don't do any sadhana now, do it in your old age. No, now is not the time for sadhana. They will give these kind of things. When you are old, you got backache, knee pain, you cannot sit down. Where you have time to do sadhana then? Or even your body, you still have energy, you still have, Shakti in your body, then only you can do sadhana.
Right.
Because they say that there's this thing that Shri Krishna has said, the last thought that you think of when you die determines where you go after. So let's say if your last thought was like, this person betrayed me, this person stole my money, I have that revenge in my heart. In that, after you die, you'll either become a preta who haunts people, or you'll be born to that person's life as their son or grandson to torment them. Right. If you are thinking of Shri Krishna, the last thought before you die is Shri Krishna, you'll go to Shri Krishna. You think of Lord Shiva, you'll go to Shivaloka.
Right.
But no one has any control over the last thought. Whatever you keep doing in life is what will become your last thought. Right? So to think of your Ishta Devata, let's say Shiva or Devi or Krishna, you have to start doing it now itself, so that when the last moment in your life comes, it naturally happens. That's the last thing you think of.
Right. Today, many people live busy lives in cities. If someone want to connect with the devtas in a simple way, where should they start?
So you should always start with Ganapati.
Okay.
Even lighting a diya once a day. if you know stotras like Sankatanashana Stotra, you can recite it once a day just to remove your weakness. It takes less than 5 minutes. You can't start without anything and start sitting for 1-2 hours to do job. Your body is not ready. The mind is not ready. So start simple every day, just light a diya. Every week or once every 2 weeks, go to a Ganesha temple. Right? Sit and soak in that energy. Try not to go to those crowded temples. Go to a small temple where you will be calm. If you go to these very, crowded temples, people will be pushing and you cannot see the devata for more than few minutes, or few seconds. So sit at peace and then you can start chanting the stotra or his Nam Japa Shri Mahaganapati Namaha, or like simple shlokas like Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirviknam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sharvata. You can just keep repeating it and just sit in his presence. It's not important for you to see the devata. It's more important for the devata to see you.
Right.
So make yourself available for the devata to see you. And slowly things in your life will change. Even if you are busy, things in your life will change. The devata will change your life in a way where sadhana becomes possible. Like I had one shishya who used to travel to different countries. He was a consultant. So he's always in taxis and in airports and hotels. He met me and he said, Guruji, I don't have any time to do any sadhana. So he was a Brahmana. So I saw he had a tulsi mala in his hand.
Okay.
So I said, you go in the taxi, you take out that mala and just do Ram Nam Jap. Right? Ram, 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 Ram. You are in that plane, take out, do the Ram Nam Jap. After some time, Devata himself will change your life so that you can do better sadhana. So in the same way, after some time he got initiated. If I had given him initiation back then, he would not have been able to do. But he started something small, he started doing it, and life happens in a way that the Devata will bless you.
Many young people today feel disconnected from spirituality. Why do you think this has been happened? And how can they reconnect with these traditions?
So, what happened was a lot of people were first taught about our religion from our parents who had no idea on how to teach us about our religion. They didn't know how to explain to us these things, and they will just say, just follow, don't ask questions. So a lot of younger generation Hindus, they come back feeling very angry and they move away from their paths. The problem is because once upon a time there was something called Kula Guru. There was this concept of Kula Guru where whichever Kula you're from, there will be one Guru. Your family will have one Guru. And all the questions, whether life questions, Jodisha, who to marry, all of these things will be answered by the Kula Guru. And the Kula Guru will teach you Mahabharata, Ramayana, or if the Kula Guru is part of that Guru tradition, will teach you how to worship the Devatas there. In return, the Kula will take care of the Kula Guru. The Kula Guru's full job is to only take care of the spiritual needs. In return, every month the rice packets will be given, vegetables will be sent, chicken, whatever the Guru eats will be sent. If the Guru has a daughter or child, this Kula will take care of the child. So it's symbiotic, both take care of each other. Now due to invasions and people moving into cities, this concept, Kula Guru concept has been broken. And our parents were forced to just focus on working, right? So after independence and all that, first thing they needed was money to take care of their. So you can't blame them also. They were working hard just to make sure there's place to live, food, everything. But they are not able to answer spiritual questions. Now the problem is the current society, a lot of the young generation, they have everything in life. They have AC, 24/7 they have internet, they have Netflix, Amazon Prime, Geo, right? They have the comforts that even the Rajas back in the day didn't have. All entertainment available 24/7, but they are all empty inside.
Right.
Because they have no meaning. There's no meaning in life. The divine spark is not there. They have everything, but inside they have nothing. So that is the issue with today's society. So when you do sadhana, for example, Ganesha sadhana, one siddhi you get is purnatvam. Purnatvam means you feel complete on the inside. You don't feel empty. You don't feel like I need this money, I need this. All these things will happen if it's a good desire. Let's say you need a spouse, you need a house, you need a car. These things will happen. Devata will bless you. But you will not be doing it out of greed. You already feel complete. These things will just come to you as the Devata blesses you. Now for people who, because of the strict parenting or because of that restrictive thinking, they are disconnected. See, one good thing about our Hindu religion and Sanatana Dharma is there's so many different paths.
Right.
You can go on a search, right? Go explore the different philosophies, right? Go to the oracle traditions, go to the Kshetrapala traditions, explore meditation, yoga, mantra sadhana, Ganesha, Devi. See what resonates with you. You will find a path. It might not be the path that your parents brought you in, but that could be something that resonates with you. And then that will naturally give you the impetus to follow more and learn more, right? So you need to explore what fits you. Because since now that Kula thing has been broken, you need to go and find. So that's how you can actually help yourself spiritually in this current world where we have everything, but we feel nothing.
I think, Guruji, it was a great conversation with you today. And thank you so much for coming. Any last message to our audience?
Take the first step towards sadhana. You take one step towards the Devata will take 100 steps towards you. So don't just delay, because the human life is a precious life. You might not know when you get this life once again. So don't waste it. Shri Mahaganapati Namaha Karpartane.
Once again, thank you so much for coming. And thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe our channel. And if someone want to connect with our Guruji, we will put the contact details in our description. And thank you so much for watching. Keep watching the Limitless Talk, the Nitish Rajput show, only on the Limitless Talk. Jai Bholenath.